You've been reporting on this today, and this deal is as significant for what it does cover as well as for what it doesn't cover. So lay it out for us. What is included in here and what's not?
Well, for instance, they are dropping 20 lawsuits that are in Germany and the U.S., so basically eliminating all of the suits that Google had inherited when it bought Motorola Mobility. They're also going to be cooperating on some patent issues. What it doesn't include is the Android licensing program. Microsoft will still be collecting royalties on Android when it can.
So, David, how significant is this, for both of these companies in terms of how much they've spent on litigation over these patents and what potential deals it could open the door for?
It's significant in giving them certainty as far as resolving the dispute between them. When you look at it, Google kind of inherited this case, which was brought by Motorola Mobility back when it was its own independent company. So the business justifications for bringing the lawsuit when it first was brought changed after Google acquired them. And in fact, Google sold the Motorola Mobility hardware folks to Lenovo. So the business justification for the case changed even more after that. So it gives them certainty. It allows them to focus on the things that their interests are aligned in, both with patents and otherwise.
Susan, we saw Apple and Samsung go all the way to the wall in the United States over patents, and yet now we're seeing a truce here. We've seen deals happen outside the U.S. Is this the start of a trend?
Well, it certainly marks the end of the smartphone wars. We still have Apple and Samsung fighting for very specific issues that they have to do, but we can show that it's a maturation of the smartphone market. It's not growing the way it used to, so there's not really a need for lawsuits.
So, David, if this is, a milestone or potentially the end of the smartphone patent wars, what's the next phase in tech patents? What are you watching for?
This is a good question, and I'll say in this case, it's a good example of the ebb and flow we always see in patent law. Whenever there's a new technology, mobile phones, back in the 1800s it was sewing machines, whenever that comes up, we see a lot of these patent battles. So the next thing we'll look for really is what's the next adventure, the frontier for innovation, and then we'll see patent wars come up again. And you know what? They're good because at the end of the day, the consumer benefits because of all the innovations that come about during that process.
So, Susan, what are you watching for in terms of your reporting? Are you looking for more deals? What's the next big trend?
Well, right now we are seeing a number of fights over some of the fundamental technologies. You're seeing some of the old school companies like Ericsson and Nokia who are no longer in the business of making phones, but they have fundamental technology, and they're fighting to get some money. But in terms of the new technologies coming on board, we're looking at the Internet of Things. We're looking at the entertainment systems that are on automobiles. I'm actually even keeping an eye out for fracking lawsuits since the fracking world is coming down. So we just have to look at what's happening in different industries, and if a market is going up or if a market is going down, companies are going to start fighting.